Welcome to part 3 of the Billie Jean Iceberg. This was originally going to be part of the last video, but this tier is just too fucking big, so it actually has 2 parts, and this is part 1 of tier 4. Now we go to tier 4, and this is the big one. There's a lot of performances on this, because these are lesser known performances. I think that these performances are only known by people who are MJ fans and who actively watch Michael Jackson performances, or you're someone who were at the show, you were an attendee at the actual shows back in the 90s or 80s, and you want to see if there's a footage of it or something on YouTube. You're probably that person who watches this. Else, standard MJ fans who just like his music, who watches some of his live performances, most likely do not watch these performances, and that's why it's in lesser known. Starting off with Mexico City on November 11th, 1993. Now, I consider putting this in the previous tier known because a lot of people know it, but I don't think it was kind of seen as it was mislabeled, I think, as the Brazil show, one of the Brazil shows, which it obviously isn't, is the Mexico show, which kind of gave it an identity crisis, I guess. But I don't think a lot of people know it, unless, again, you're an MJ fan or you were at the show. That's my conclusion of it anyways. I really like this performance. The vocals, he sounds kind of dry because it's the last show of the Dangerous tour. And the 1993 leg it's a controversial leg. There are some vile allegations about Michael that you most likely know of. This performance is good. I really like the dancing. It's clear he's tired. You can see it. He's tired. Also cool. This is a tower footage. This is shot from the tower in the audience. So it's a really cool perspective. You're seeing it on top. No, okay, maybe not like that. I like the perspective. I like the perspective a lot, and I like the dancing a lot. The interpretation is also great, even though it's not the best audio. I think it's great. I'm putting it in C tier. Now we have Santiago in Chile on October 23rd, 1993. I love this performance. This is my favorite 1993 performance of Billie Jean because it's so good. It has the dancing, and it has good vocals, and it has good audience recordings. The only thing that is whack is the audio quality could be better, but else it's really good. The audience is really captivated by him, and they show support to him, which is very important at this time of the year. I love this performance, honestly. S tier. I'm putting it in S tier. It's one of my absolute favorites. Now we have Dublin on July 19th, 1997. This is a really wild performance. This was known as the wildest Billie Jean performance for a while. However, I think another performance has a beat, and I'm gonna go down to that show down the line as well. But for now, this is the wild show. It's really, really good. The vocals are really interesting too, and they sound really, really good too. I think it's a daylight show, basically. I think it was performed in daylight. At least that's what it looks like from the audience recording. It's a really good visual performance. There's a lot of dancing, and I love it. There's some wild dancing here, some really unique things. After the second chorus, instead of doing the PTF move, he does the tap dance instead, which looks so cool. I love it. But it's not one of my favorites. I think it's because of the audio quality. It sounds kind of dry, I would say. There's not a lot of punch to it, which doesn't make it seem interesting, even though the visual performance is very, very good. I can't put it any higher than A tier. Now we have Osaka on October 10th, 1987. This is fantastic. The visual quality isn't though. That's horrible. It's worse than Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur looks like some ball sweat, but this looks horrible. It looks like someone took a paper roll and put water on it and put it all over the fucking screen, and then took a shit on the fucking screen and then threw it in the toilet and tried to fish it out again with a fishnet. That's what this looks like. It's trash. But the visual performance is fantastic, and the vocals are fantastic. The quality sucks dick, but the fucking performance itself is fantastic. I love this performance so much. One of my absolute favorite bad tour performances. I'm putting it in S tier. Then we go on to another bad tour show. We have Los Angeles on January 26th, 1989. This is a really good performance. I think it's better than January 27th, even though we have a high quality soundboard recording of that. This is just an amateur recording, but I think the performance itself is way more interesting and just way better in general. I think the vocals are better, and that's obviously what I have to take into account considering we don't have visual performance of it. I think we have a snippet or something of it. But yeah, the vocals are really good, and I like it more than the other Los Angeles show we have. I'm putting it in S tier. actually S tier because it's so good. It's one of my favorite bad tour performances. I probably should have stated that, but it's one of my favorite bad tour Billie Jean performances. Barcelona on September 18th, 1992. Now this performance is one of my favorites of the Dangerous tour. The vocals here are really good for the Dangerous tour. Not to say the Dangerous tour has horrible vocals or anything, but like this is one of the better vocal performances of the tour, anyways. Like even the ad-libs are very interesting, unique actually, very unique compared to other performances. Usually the Dangerous tour has very similar ad-libs, like from show to show to show. The ad-libs are very similar with slight changes. However, here he sings some very unique stuff you would probably hear on the History tour actually. He even does like a History tour-esque movement, which is so cool. And also, I'm just gonna show you one of my favorite parts of it, and you're gonna love it. If you haven't seen it before, you're gonna love this. Trust me. Oh, it sounds so good. Like it just sounds so fucking good. But I think the dancing is what makes it down. Like during the pre-chorus, it looks like he's about to jump and do the kick, but he's late, so he jumps and points, which looks lackluster. So there's a lack of dancing here, and that's what brings it to A tier. I would have put it in S tier, but there's not a lot of dancing for my taste, but A tier is still very good. The performance on Prague, the premiere show of the History tour on September 7th, 1996. This performance is interesting because it's the first show of the History tour, so Michael has to get used to performing again. The vocals are interesting, but his mic is turned on late, which is unfortunate. So there's no ow, which, you know, I'm a sucker for that. I love that shit. The dancing is cool, but he's clearly maybe nervous or something, because he does moves before he usually does them. Like the ankle breaker, he starts before the cue is. Which looks a bit odd. Like he starts it and then like exits it and then begins doing it again, which looks weird. He also fails the moonwalk. Like he slips and like turns into a robotic movement, which is a nice save, but it's obvious it's a fail. How about the beatbox at the end? Ooh, I love the beatbox. But still, him being nervous, it's too evident for my taste. So I'm putting it in D tier. Next up, we have Nishinomiya. I don't know how to say that. I most likely destroyed that. Nishinomiya. I need to stop saying it. It was on September 21st, 1987, and this performance is good. It has good vocals. I don't have much more to say, honestly. Like it's just amateur audio. There's not much more to take from it. It's good. Not bad. It's good. It has great vocals. Probably better than other performances, honestly. So actually, I'm putting it in B tier because of the vocals. Now we have Soul on October 13th, 1996. This is an amateur recording, and this is basically just, in my opinion, the better show of the Soul shows. The Soul shows. The vocals are way better. He sounds sick. He does sound sick, but he's more active here. He kind of sings it like the Dangerous tour, except with a History tour style, if that makes sense. And the dancing, there's a lot of dancing here, and he seems energized compared to the first show where he's slow. Here in the second show, he's much more energized, and he has rapid movement. But also, my god, the band sounds fantastic. The guitar is very active, I think I could say. Like, I love it. It's one of my favorites, honestly. I'm putting it at A tier. Now we have one of my favorites, which is Tenerife on September 26th in 1993. We used to just have audio of this, but now we also have like half the performance in like really, really good quality, shot from a TV crew. And oh my god, I love this performance. I truly, truly, truly do. It would almost be perfect, but it's missing a few things. Like I would want more ad-libs. No, actually, I would just want an ow. And that's missing. If there was an ow, it would be an S tier, but for now, it's an A tier. It's really good. There's some wild dancing. So yeah, it's A tier worthy for sure. Tokyo, December 12th, 1992. I love Tokyo. I fucking love it. Though we only have 14 seconds of this performance, like snippets of it. But somehow, that's enough to immediately say that this performance is peak. Like, the dancing is unique, his hairstyle looks amazing. The hairstyle makes me go crazy. I dream of the hairstyle, okay? I am in a romantic relationship with the Tokyo 1992 hairstyle. But I would need to hear the performance to really determine how good it is. But from what I've seen so far, it's B tier, at least. At least. It's probably better, honestly. But that's it for now. Moving on to another Tokyo show, we had Tokyo, December 19th, 1992. Now, again, this is Tokyo, and I love Tokyo. The vocals here are really, really strong and really loud. Like, he really fills out the stadium with his voice here because he sounds fantastic. However, this is not one of my favorite Tokyo shows, but it's still, regardless, so good. I'm putting it in A tier. Now we have yet another Tokyo show, and this is my actual favorite Tokyo show, and this is December 30th, 1992. This Billie Jean performance has my absolute favorite Billie Jean vocals. I think the way he sings here is flawless. The ad-libs are fantastic and they're unique. And the vocals in general just sound so good. And the instrumentation, oh my god. Even though it's a low quality amateur recording, it sounds so good. I love it. It's my favorite vocal performance for sure. So I'm putting it in S tier. Moving on to Zaragoza, September 26, 1996. I love this name, Zaragoza. Like, the way it's spelled looks so cool, honestly. And just like that, just brings it up tier list. No, it doesn't. But I would want it to if that was something that would have effect or weight on how I rate things, but it can't. The performance itself, though, is actually really good. However, the recording is kind of like cut up. Like, it keeps cutting, which is very unfortunate, and the camera angle's very far away. I think some dude shot us from his apartment or something, because, you know, he lives in a skyscraper, and you can see down into the stadium where Michael's performing. So it's cool, but the quality is, it's not that good. Still, the vocals are really good. Like, I'm putting it in A tier. Amsterdam on June 8th, 1997. I love this performance so much. I love it so much. I wish we had the full performance. We almost do. We're missing like the start, but we can't see the rest of it until like the first pre-chorus, I think, because of the camera angle, unfortunately. But the quality is actually okay. I love it. He's so energetic, and there's unique dancing, which I'm a sucker for, and the vocals are interesting. It's kind of funny because it's just him yelling, "Woo! Woo!" Kind of does it a lot, but still the rest of the ad-libs sound really good. And like the transition from playback to live vocals, it's seamless. I don't know when the mic is actually turned on. I love it. It's S tier. It's one of my favorites. Moving on to the other Amsterdam show of 1997. This is on June 10th. This is not as good. Nope, not as good. The vocals are not that audible, but they sound good. And he starts off the performance really energetic, but then his hair becomes loose. Like his hair bun thing falls out, so he has loose hair, which is so cool, and I think it's the only Billie Jean performance where he has his hair loose, and it looks so good. Though it is a bit hard to see due to the video quality, but still it's very cool. But that doesn't mean the performance is as cool as the actual, special thing is. It is good though, but it's still like, after like his hair becomes loose, he loses a bit focus, honestly. I think that's the best way to describe it. And for that, like, it's only the first half of the performance that's really good. The rest is just, I'm putting it in C tier. Now we have May 23rd, 1988. This is just amateur audio, so I can only determine what I like out from the vocals, obviously. And it sounds okay. It's an okay performance. I can't say much more than that, honestly. So I'm putting it in C tier. Then we have the other Rome show in 1988 on May 24th. Now this is interesting. This is another one of those wild performances because he dances very differently here than other bad tour Billie Jean performances I've seen, and I really like that. I'm putting it in B tier. Turin on May 29th, 1988. The vocals here are really good, honestly, and I think it's the first time he does the he things. I think it's the first time, it raises it because of that, but also it's super, super, super high quality, which amazing. I mean, just amazing. I'm putting it in B tier. Now we have Vienna, June 2nd, 1988. This is a good performance, but I don't have much more to say than that. It's audio, I can only judge that from its vocals, and they just sound okay. Nothing too interesting here, just standard. I'm putting it in C tier. Rotterdam, June 5th, 1988, which is also just audio. The vocals here are better than the Vienna show, I'd say. There's a good atmosphere here, as there usually are with bad tour shows. But I really like his vocals here, though they're not like supreme or anything. I think they're better than normal. I'm putting them in B. I'm putting Rotterdam, June 5th in B tier. Gothenburg, June 11th, 1988. This one we have video of, which is cool. I think this was a dude just filming the show from his apartment, similar to the Zaragoza show. The performance itself is, to be honest, not that interesting to me. Like, a lot of people really like it, but for me it's just like, it's just I just see it as a standard Billie Jean performance from the Bad Tour. There are other Bad Tour Billie Jean performances that I think are way better, so I'm putting it in C tier. Next up we have the Minneapolis. I don't know how to say it. I do not know how to say it. Minneapolis on May 6th, 1988. I don't know how to say it. I can't say much about this because we only have short snippets of it. I can't really determine anything, to be honest, so I'm putting it in non-applicable. Next up we have Leeds on August 16th, 1992. I think this actually is the first performance of Billie Jean where they start using the bass. I'll just show it. Why did I have to try to use my voice to do it? I'll just show you it. Like, that bass is actually my favorite thing about the Dangerous Tour bass. And honestly, I prefer it than the normal Billie Jean bass. It just sounds so much better with it. Gives it so much more rhythm in my opinion. But the rest of the performance is standard. It's just standard. His vocals are good, but nothing special. So I'm putting it in C tier. Next up, we have a Wembley show on August 20th, 1992. This is just C tier. I don't know what to tell you. Like, some people be like, oh, Wembley shows are the best Michael Jackson shows. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because I don't see it. Like, some Wembley shows are really good, sure. But there's a lot of other shows on Michael's tours that are better, honestly. This show is standard, to be honest. I don't know what to tell you. Like, the vocals are good, but nothing special. Just standard Dangerous Tour vocals, to be honest. I'm putting it in C tier. Another Wembley show on August 22nd, 1992. This performance is okay, but like, it doesn't catch me at all. I think it's probably the most boring Billie Jean performance that we have from the Dangerous Tour. There's just nothing special about it, to be honest. So I'm putting it in D tier because it just does not intrigue me at all. I think it's so boring to listen to. Just like it's just not special. There's nothing interesting. Just listen to the previous show. It's better. Like Frankfurt on Frankfurt. I don't know why I think that's funny. It's on August 28th, 1992. This is an interesting performance. There's no toe stand after the moonwalk. I think it's the only Billie Jean performance from the Dangerous Tour of 1992. Of 1992, mind you, that doesn't have a toe stand. And I can't really say much about the vocals here because he's quite inaudible because of the audio quality. It sounds like someone put the fucking audio tape on their fucking tank or something and it just got driven over. That's the audio. It's like, that's literally how the fucking audio sounds like, and it sounds horrible. The visual quality is pretty good though, and the visual performance is also really good. But I need to have better audio of it before I can judge it completely. So for now, it's just in C tier. Now we have Ludwigshafen 1992 on August 30th. And oh my bejeebus, I love this performance. It is one of my favorites. It's in S tier. The dancing is very wild. It's so good. And also he sings a lot more here than he does in any other Dangerous Tour show. Like, I think his hair becomes loose, but we don't see it, so I'm just thinking, like, because we see him, there's a cut, and then we see him again on the Jumbotron, and then you can see him fixing his hair at the microphone stand while singing. Like, he's singing during the ankle breaker section, which is so unusual, so he's clearly not doing the ankle breaker, but instead singing. Which sounds so good. It makes the performance feel so much more complete, honestly. S tier. I love you, Ludwigshafen. I love you. Now we have another German show. This is Berlin on September 4th, 1992. This is an interesting one because he has a really interesting hairstyle, and he's also wearing a t-shirt with a cut into it, which is what he wore in the earlier shows of the tour. So that's interesting. The vocals here are actually okay, and the visual performance is standard, I think. But I think I want to see more of the performance to judge it properly. We have most of the performance, but there's some cuts that make it difficult to see what he's doing. But he sings really well here. I'm putting it in B tier. Bremen, May 31st, 1997. Now this was basically labeled as June 6th Bremen show for a very long time. But like it's now mostly known as the May 31st show because it matches. I compared it to the Billie Jean snippet we have of the May 31st show, and the audio matches perfectly here. So I'm putting it in B tier because the vocals are super good and the instrumentation sounds great. So B tier. Now we have Kansas City on July 6, 1984. This is the first performance of the Victory Tour, and what a wonderful start. This performance is actually my favorite Billie Jean performance from the Victory Tour. It's so good. The guitar is so amazing, and Michael's vocals are okay at times, but most of the time they're super good, and I really like it. I actually really like it. S tier, S tier. Now we have another Victory Tour performance, Dallas on July 14th, 1984. This is not as good as the Kansas performance, to be honest, but there's something cool. Like he pulls up his sleeve like this. Like he has his sleeve was like that for the most of the performance, which is very unique for Billie Jean, and it looks super cool. And his vocals are good too, but there's nothing too unique to it other than that, like nothing too special. Also, the quality fucking sucks. Like that looks like it has been drowned in a fucking lake or something. Like it looks horrible. B tier, because it's good. It's better than most Victory Tour performances, I would say, but it's still not like it's not a peak, but it's just good. Now we have Yokohama on October 4th, 1987. Or at least that's what some people label it as. I'm going off of MJ Live and Rare videos because a lot of his dates seem very accurate, so I'm going off of his dates of this performance, and he's saying it's October 4th, so I'm trusting him here. If any evidence goes towards that, please let me know, and I will obviously, think of this performance as another date. But for now, it's Yokohama, October 4th, 1987. This performance is interesting because the camera is just one angle, and it's just an angle focusing on his glove and his footwork. And it's very interesting just seeing a performance from that angle. Angle, I'm sorry. But unfortunately, there's some people talking over the audio, so it's difficult to hear Michael singing, but I'm putting it in B tier. And this brings us to the end of part 1 of 2 of tier 4. Jesus, that's a lot of numbers to keep saying. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it, even though I have to remember all these goddamn dates and it's so difficult to remember. And I can't stand still. I'm literally dancing right now. I don't know why I'm dancing. Why am I dancing? Please help me. Next up we have Wembley on July. Next up we have next up we have a Wembley show on August. No.